Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I am super excited to be here. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. Yeah. I am so happy. I am so thrilled to be your host on this podcast. This podcast is hosted by Not Snow Academy, which is a subsidiary of Not Snow Limited. And today we are going to be talking about, can you guess? Anyways, let me go straight to the point. Today we're going to be talking on a topic that is very sensitive, yet it has to be talked about. So we're going to be talking on AI-driven operations, turning business challenges into competitive advantage. So I'm going to talk about what Not Snow is. So, like I said, this podcast is hosted by Not Snow Academy, and Not Snow Academy is a subsidiary of Not Snow Limited. Now, Not Snow Limited is a technology service company specializing in enterprise solutions, web and mobile development, and tailored IT training with a diverse portfolio spanning multiple industries. Not Snow help clients navigate the digital landscape and achieve business objectives through scalable and robust solutions. And we've got two incredible guest speakers. They're industry leaders, and I'm super duper excited to bring them. So, welcome with me, our speakers. We have Deji Ogumola. Welcome, Deji. I'm so happy to see you. And we
Thank you.
also have Mr. Ade Ogunbajo. Hi. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Oh, yeah, you tried better than others, so yeah, you did try.
Okay, welcome. I'm really excited, or we are really excited to have you. So I'm just going to go ahead and properly introduce you. So I'll start by reading your bio. I would start with Mr. Deji first because I've spoken with Mr. Mr. I think I'm mixing Deji and Ayo Deji. So I'm just going to stick with I'm not going to start with Ayo Deji. I'm going to start with Mr. Ade. Yes, I don't know why I actually think that your name should be Adeji or Ayodeji. I feel like what's actually your full name? Adebayo, Ade,
Uh, I did Tunji.
Adetunji.
I did,
Oh, nice. So I'll just stick
yeah.
to Ade, right? Thank you so much. So Ade Ogunbanjo is a seasoned operation leader and vice president of operations at a global fintech SaaS provider with extensive experience spanning service delivery, technical support, and cross-regional team management. Ade oversees multiple tier 2 support groups responsible for PBX, voice recording, and network services on hosted platforms. Known for his strategic mindset and people first leadership, he drives operational experience or rather excellence through process optimization, AI innovation, and collaborative governance across global teams. Wow. Ade is deeply passionate about developing talent, fostering teamwork, built on trust
Oh,
and humility, and ensuring customer success through reliable, scalable service operations. Beyond his professional role, Ade is a family oriented Christian, mentor, and motivational speaker who enjoys inspiring others through faith, diligence, and continuous growth. Once again, welcome, Mr. Ade.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to proceed to read Mr. Ayodeji, right? I was Mr. Deji. I feel like I'm just mixing everything up right now, but I'll just stick to Mr. Deji. So Ayodeji Ogumola, fondly known as Deji, is an inspiring AI product manager, educator, and digital transformation leader who believes in using technology to make work and life better for people. He currently leads AI management at Not Snow Limited UK, where he helps organizations bring their ideas to life through intelligent in systems that automate processes, unlock insights, and drive meaningful innovation. With over a decade of experience across number financial services, Amazon UK, GIG Logistics, and Fairfield Limited, Deji has led the development of over 25 mainstream digital solutions and more than 50 AI agentic systems. Wow. His work includes partnering with businesses to design operational AI agents that scale intelligently and transform how teams work, blending automation with creativity to deliver measurable business impact. Beyond his corporate achievements, Deji is deeply passionate about education and capacity building. Through initiatives like the Agentic AI Bootcamp and the Agentic AI Summer School, he has trained executives, startup founders, and young innovators to understand, build, and apply AI solutions that solve real world challenges. Deji holds a master's in business administration, I beg your pardon, and professional certifications in Scrum, DevOps, and product management, and a chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Personal Development. His technical expertise spans RAG architectures, LMS, voice and chatbox, automation workflows, and modern CI/CD ecosystem. This is a mouthful. His leadership is guided by empathy, curiosity, and a firm belief that technology should empower people, not replace them. I love this. When he's not building the next wave of AI driven solutions, Deji enjoys mentoring young professionals, exploring creative technologies, and helping organizations reimagine the possible in a world powered by intelligent innovation. I think that if you are joined already, I think it's a point where we clap. We have two powerful speakers. As I already introduced before I invited you, I already said that we're going to have not just incredible guests, but they're also leaders in your industry. So just going to get straight into the podcast. So the topic is AI driven operations, turning business challenges into competitive advantage. Now, first thing is, when we talk about AI, it feels like a faraway tech thing. Now, when you bring it home, to when people hear AI driven operations, it sounds a bit abstract, right? There's already a problem. There are people already fighting. It's going to take my job, it's not going to take my job. And there's some persons who are already using AI. There are different people at their different categories. But let's even start from the grassroots. Now, from your perspectives, what does it really mean in actual practice? How is it showing up in a way smart businesses make decisions today? So I think that Mr. Ade would go first and then Mr. Dede. Thank you so much.
Okay, so when we're talking about AI in operations and the normal, I think the normal idea in people's head is probably the fact that maybe it's going to take my job, it's going to take me away, or it's going to take all my job away from me. But I think people need to look at it from, I think, inside out, because again, AI basically, and that data needs to be fitting for it to make its own decision. And what I tell anyone that talks to me about AI is if you don't get on the bandwagon of this AI thing, if you don't kind of go with the flow a bit, learn how it works, look at how you can use it to improve what you do as a person, then you stand the risk of it taking your job away in a way. So that's the way I see it. So when people talk about AI taking their jobs away, I don't really believe in that, to be honest. The only people that should be scared are people that don't utilize AI to improve on what they do. I think I'll leave it there for now.
Wow. I feel like that should be another topic on its own. So it's no longer people who should even. So first things first is you've identified the problem that AI is, or whether it's not a problem, maybe a good problem that there is AI, the emergence of AI. So what you should do is instead of wallowing in fear, self pity, identify how you can leverage AI to work. Now you've even brought it up to say that the people that should be worried are the people who are leveraging AI to improve or more. Permit me to use some more. All right. I think we're going to have a wonderful time. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. So, Mr. Deji, let's hear from you.
Thank you for inviting me. So I will start by saying that AI is a tool.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you understand that AI is a tool, is you then need to understand how you want to channel that tool to support the work that you do. There's a lot of misconception right now that AI is that silver bullet that's going to solve all the problems that we have in businesses. It's wrong. AI is an enabler. Basically, what it does is just to amplify the work that we do and save us some time to go into strategic thinking or to begin to think long term as business people or people in operations. With my experience with the work of AI, working with AI alongside with other business executives, it's obvious that AI is supposed to enable the work that we do to make us scale faster, to make us build faster, and then to have the leverage of being able to focus on more strategic things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm not sure what happened, but just hold on. I think I took him out. Okay, fine. Um, trying to drag myself
Yeah,
here. Thank you so
I can
much,
hear you.
Mr. Deji. Yes, you're back. All right. Thank you so much. So thank you so much. I think that I agree with what you've both said. And like I always try to share when I have the chance to, is that AI is an enabler, just like you've mentioned. And when you think about it, two companies, like the analogy I always use, like two companies who are faced, in the same market, the same economy,
Yeah.
but you can always see that one is completely, or one is seeing a different result, one is seeing like an outcome. And if you really want to be honest with yourself, what is the difference between both companies? Is that one is leveraging the usage of intelligence, right? And then if you keep thinking, oh my God, um, he's going to take my job, you're not even identified how can I make this thing to make my job better. An analogy I would like to give is like think of AI like a co-pilot, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a pilot who is steering the plane towards the right direction, and there's other pilot
Mhm.
who is not on the cockpit right now, but is checking the weather, checking the fuel. So that is what AI should be, or that's what AI is for you, a co-pilot, and
Yeah.
not there's no competition here, so it's just collaboration. Now this takes me to the next question, to Mr. Deji, actually. So from your experience in driving AI transformation,
Mhm.
how can businesses identify which parts of their operations are best suited for AI? So we're going to talk about different cycles. We talk about the different phases of businesses. Thank you.
All right, thanks. From my experience, I always advise businesses to look for some certain challenges that can be found in some particular area of their business. And I will point out probably like two or three. I think the first will be repetitive and rule-based processes. So, in terms of the repetitive processes, these are man hours being burned to be able to get the job done. And what that
Mhm.
means is that you need to save time, because the currency we all spend as businesses is time, right? The shorter time we can get the job done, the better for us, because that's money for us. Yeah. So
Yep.
repetitive tasks that's going to take a whole lot of manpower to get done. You can automate those processes um, from that from that standpoint. The second operational challenge is you need to look, or the characteristics that you need to look out for is areas of your business where it's data rich, majorly areas of business that takes a whole lot of data to make decision. And without data, no AI. Yeah. So AI thrives very well when data is made available. So look at it from that standpoint, that when you have a whole lot of data that needs to be looked into to make decisions, right? You can connect your AI in there. It learns, and then you can train your data. You can learn from the AI, also from feedback, that feedback loop that you keep getting. And the last part is the part of your operations that needs some level of prediction and optimization. So if you are into the operational side of your business, and you're looking at um, optimizing probably the work that your team do, or you have to make some predictions to know how to, basically your forecasting to know what to do. So for example, from logistics company standpoint, for example, optimizing delivery, right? Delivery routes, AI can support with that, or probably route optimization for their work and stuff like that. Recently we saw that Amazon just released their smart glasses to support their delivery drivers across the world, and basically to help them optimize their delivery, to know the parcel going to what direction, and to help connect the dots. So those are the three major ones that I feel that businesses should look out for. The data rich, if you have data rich environment, especially for your sales team, for your finance team, or for your customer support team that sit on heavy data. And then lastly, like I mentioned, repetitive tasks, things that are a little bit on the mundane side of things, you can then automate this so you can get the job done faster. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm just going to reiterate what you said. For those who may just join or who are just joining the live, you are watching the podcast by Not Snow Academy, and today we are talking about AI-driven operations, turning business challenges into competitive advantage. And Mr. Deji has just told us about how or what companies or areas that companies can, use AI on. First, he mentioned repetitive and role-based tasks, right? If you have tasks basically that are repetitive, then please use AI to optimize your processes, right? If you work with large data, I mean that's it. It's very simple. Without data, there's no AI. So let's not even sweat it. And let's not put that what you give is what it like what you put in is what it gives you. It's like garbage in capital. Like didn't joke. Computer 101 did not joke with us on that. And then the next is for prediction, right? And we can see this in different industries. So I'm just going to move to the next question, which is for Mr. Adi. I remember, but I did forget. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you this question. Just a minute. Now, excellent. So I'm going to ask from a large scale, operation standpoint, especially across multiple regions. Now, what are some challenges that companies face when trying to introduce AI consistently across teams? Now, especially when they already have existing, processes and systems and all of that. So what are the challenges that companies face, like large companies? When it's large, the system becomes a bit complicated and complex and all
Yeah.
of that. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to take the answer that question in two parts. So there are two critical things that I think can affect the ability to deploy AI in a very large organization. I think the first one is the people itself. There's people they are so used to the way they do things, they are so comfortable with the way they do things, and when you're trying to introduce something new, and just because they don't understand it, they go against it, they push against it. So that sometimes is a struggle to kind of get a new idea, a new innovation going within an organization. And then the second one is the data itself. There's nothing you do in this world that doesn't run on data. Even in your home, your decision you make at home is based on the data, based on the information you have, which is data as well. So which is why when did you was talking about data earlier on, we're like, no, it's not just in businesses as well. At your home, pretty much anything you do is based on data. So data is key. Data is king. So anyone that holds data, he holds a very valuable asset. And the problem with most of these big organizations is the way they've kind of managed their data over time it's not consistent. So there's a lot of either duplicate data, either unwanted data that they have stored away somewhere. And like you rightly said earlier on, when you put garbage in, you get garbage out. And for them to successfully implement AI, the first very thing they need to do is first to clean up their data and make sure that the source itself is clean enough for them to be able to feed into the system for it to now come out with what they're looking for. So I'll leave it like that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So there's something that I also noticed when is I think it's quite generic with traditional systems when you want to introduce something new to them. In fact, let me give you a very typical example. So some companies are very used to using papers, right? They never want it. Like, why are you printing on paper when you could just send a mail?
Yeah,
And
because
then you introduce yes, I introduce something to them, and then the next thing or the first thing that they think about is, so you're going to take my job away, so that people are the one that produce this paper and all of that. So it's something that I think we're going to talk about that, where we can have the balance between
yeah,
automation and human, because realistically, I mean, emotions drive people, people drive performance. So you
yeah,
can't just come in, you need to be patient with them, especially for people who have been some company, you have been here for 15 years, for 20 years.
like, what are
I
you doing?
want them to
Yeah,
just switch it like that. And
exactly.
that's even in the part of internal team members. You still
Yes.
have the customers to also convince that this thing is going to be this way. So I am really enjoying this conversation. I don't know about you, if you're joining from YouTube, from Facebook, from LinkedIn. I hope that you are taking notes. I've actually written down data is key, data is king. I love rhymes a lot. So I actually wrote that down. So the next question is going to go to Mr. Ayodeji, Mr. Deji, right? Now, in terms of real impact, can you share an example where AI has helped business see real measurable improvement? This could be maybe efficiency, profitability, or even customer experience. I mean, when I was reading your bio, I'm seeing 25 pins digital product, 50 agentic agentic system. Oh, more. So please, in terms of real impact, I like to share. If you can share two, that would be great. But for time, you can just share one. And yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks. So one of the things that I mentioned initially is time
Yeah.
and revenue, right? As a business, one of the things that you are looking at is being able to utilize the same resources to improve your revenue bottom line.
Mhm.
What AI has done with what we've seen is we've seen a lot of businesses now, what they now invest in is the same resources. We put in the bottom line a little bit on AI, and then they're able to see more revenue. So
Yeah.
I think just like Mr. Adi had mentioned initially and said that the fear that they're going to, like, a lot of people are afraid that they're going to lose their job is false, because what we've started to see is a lot of businesses are beginning to think of how to empower their current team to 10x their revenue, the same team to 10x their revenue with, and empower them with the skills of using AI to get that job done. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the um, measurable improvements that we've seen in businesses. So first off, revenue growth. So businesses are getting better revenue with the same headcount. So when a business increases its headcount in terms of people, right?
Mhm.
That in itself is expenses for the business, right? And now what we've started to see is businesses are now beginning to look for people like us that do the capacity building for employees in the business. So I get into an organization, and basically my focus will be on different types of departments, and our job is to empower them with the skill of being able to utilize AI to fast track their job or build custom made solutions, AI solution by themselves for themselves to optimize the business productivity. So that's the first thing. Revenue growth is happening with the same number of people in the organization. The second thing that I've observed, right, which are the measurable improvement that has taken place, is AI is beginning to allow businesses to make intelligent decisions now.
Yeah.
Like we have said initially, um, artificial intelligence basically is not is a tool, And the best way to utilize AI is to always have the human in the loop. The human in the loop process means that the decision, all the fact findings happens with the AI because it's sitting on a whole lot of data, structured and unstructured data within the organization. So let me give a typical example: customer support. A customer support person who's supposed to respond to emails, for example, right? He reads the email, he wants to take his time to digest it, get the information, process it, rewrite the email, and send it back to the client. With an plugged in into your system, that email can be read by that AI. That AI can go into your system and see all the past conversations that have been happening. That AI can come back with a detailed write-up and email based on its findings. It's done from the CRM, it's checked the ticket, it's done all of that, and he writes it, and he empowers the person who is in the customer support team. All the person is the human in the loop side of things. Read through it, scan it properly to be sure that that's the right information, and then copy that information, paste it, and send it to the customer. So while all customers, or sorry, all the customer support team or the business is non-operational, the AI is capturing all those information and getting those emails ready for the customer support team before he resumes. So he resumes and he sees draft of over like 50 emails done already. All he just needs to do is copy and paste. So that customer support team now have time to do more strategic things, like how to improve their customer support processes, other things. So basically, you're buying back time for your team to allow your team to do more strategic things, to focus on how the business will grow. I'm going to stop at that so I don't take too much of our time. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's why I said either two, or you can give us two, or you can give us one, because with the bio, I mean, you can give us 50 use cases, really fast. Right. So thank you so much, Mr. Deji. I'm going to move to Mr. Dave. Now, the question would be on the leadership side of things, right? What are the key metrics or KPIs that you think are essential to track when measuring the true impact of AI innovations? It's one thing to identify the AI, or to identify that these are the places or the loopholes that AI is going to fit in. Just like when you have KPIs for human beings, right?
Yeah.
HR call you, it's time for balance sheet scorecard, and then the next time, or balance scorecard rather, and now it's AI. So how do we track? What are the metrics to track this, please? Thank you.
Thank you very for that question. I think that's quite a big one. I think it's a good thing that DJ mentioned customer service, because one of the things that my team do is we got the first line support teams where when the customer wants to raise an incident, it goes through them. And part of the things I'm looking at implementing for them is taking out the manual element of what they do, where they have to read the emails, log a ticket, and then pass it on, and try to get them, because most of them want to be a bit more technical. So free up that time to learn the technical bit so they can be a bit more, add a bit more value as a properly function tier one without having the manual bits in there. So when we're talking about in terms of the KPIs, I think we need to look at it from the customer's perspective. What's your mean time to resolve the issue? How quickly can we resolve the issue? So you look at when you don't have AI, how quickly will your team resolving the issue? And then when you have implemented AI now, how quickly is the issue getting resolved? Saying that, because there are some repeated issue or repeated tasks, like that you mentioned as well, that you can actually program an AI that, okay, when you notice this, this is the steps to kind of resolve it. But the key thing there will be it should not be service impacting. So you can resolve it without impacting the whole system, bringing down the whole system. And also, if that can happen, then you can program an AI to do that. Or when you say this behavior, do this and do that. That will improve your mean time to resolve. Another thing is the automation rate as well. How quickly can you automate all these manual processes as well? You can actually measure that as a part of the KPI. You can also look at forecasting. So I'll look at forecasting from the technical perspective. So forecasting that I'll look at is in terms of monitoring. So you're monitoring all this system, you have all this live system, you're monitoring it. Normally, the customers always refer to us that we are like firefighters. So it's when the fire is burning, that's when you react. But when you have AI now, you can predict that what's going to happen. Yeah, you can see it beforehand, and then you can try and respond. So I'm not talking react, so we are responding now to that prediction, so you can prevent the issue happening. So that's another one that you can look at. And then you can also look at your customer stats as well, your customer satisfaction as well. The customer would tell that, oh, we want you to tell us before this issue happens so we can prepare for it. And if you're able to do that, they will be a bit more happy. They will be satisfied with the service you're giving them, be able to prevent the issue happening, notify them of the issue before the issue happens, and they can prepare on their side as well. So I think those are a few of the KPIs that they can use to. And then I think the major one, like they just been talking about, is the cost savings. Every business wants to save money. They want to save on overtime. If I can get AI to do it rather than get the person to work overtime and not paying double time, I'll get a machine to do it. So I can save on the funds as well. So that's a very critical thing as well. So those are kind of few KPIs that you can use to kind of measure the effectiveness of AI within like an operation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this actually brings us back to the point that we've made, that data is like AI needs data. Data is king, because for you to be able to measure something substantial, for you to see the difference, you need to have a baseline vis-a-vis where you're headed, right?
Exactly.
And thank you so much for sharing this. So our next question is going to be on fairness and ethics. We cannot leave out this question. Now, AI is powerful, but it also raises questions about fairness and transparency. So this question is for both of you. And the question is, how can businesses maintain ethical responsibility as they scale their AI use? So I see that Sadie wants to speak first, so you can proceed. Yes.
That's quite an interesting one. I think, I think did you mention something when it was discussing about AI earlier on, and they mentioned the fact about human in the loop. You have to have an human in the loop. I'm all for AI. I support it. I mean, introducing it to my team, get them to use it, but there has to be a human there, because AI doesn't have any empathy. It doesn't have any feelings. He's just doing what you're telling it to do. It doesn't really care what it is. But the human bit of it, I think, is critical. I think that I'll leave it that way, because for you to have that checkpoint, that person looking to make sure what this thing is spilling out is right, that human, that's why you need governance. If you notice now, one of the things that are out there, especially from all these training companies, is that there's actually certification for AI governance now, in terms of how do we put ethics into without maintaining how AI works. We should make sure that when you use it in the right way, in the right format as well. So I would say it's critical to have human in the loop. It's critical to have governance around it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Deji, how about you?
Okay, so I'm just going to piggyback from what Mr. Adi just mentioned right now about the human in the loop. We can't overemphasize the power of empathy. We can't overemphasize the power of humans being able to make judgment. Even before a human make judgment, they look at a lot of variables before deciding to make a decision. I'm going to pick it up from a different standpoint. Now, he mentioned something about AI governance. Remember, we said there's no AI without data. So initially, it used to be data governance.
Yes.
Now, because AI is beginning to layer on data, the people who are doing the data governance now begin to have questions that, what data are we happy for the AI to sit on?
That's correct.
One of the first questions from the consulting that I've done with businesses, the first question I always ask is, everyone from the compliance team have to be on the table when we're having these conversations around how to implement AI in the business first. We need to ask ourselves, what are the data we are happy for AI to sit on? GDPR out there, where you need to look at data protection, data privacy. You need to look at all of these things. What information do you want it to process? Some businesses have shared that they would prefer to do some data cleanup before AI start working on it, by taking away sensitive data from it, sensitive information like personal information. So they want the synthesis of the data without giving out whose data it is, which is great, right? That if they really want that to happen, some organization will say that you can only use AI as a recommendation engine. So basically what it will do is going to look at patterns, what you have done over the time. So when it comes to the ethics and fairness, we need to look at that first off. However, when we begin to use AI for some specific type of use cases, for example, human resources, okay, we need to start looking at bias, that whoever is training the AI doesn't have some particular kind of bias behind it. For example, being able to filter people from a certain particular demographic, or probably with some certain kind of experience and all of that. So, like I said, initially, AI is a tool. The way you program it and the guardrails you put around it determines what it gets in for you or what it keeps out. So AI in itself could be a gatekeeper. So it's going to gatekeep some. So in the fairness and transparency side of things, it shouldn't be one person making all the decision with the data. You need to have more people sitting and looking at it, that how was this AI trained? What guardrails have you put to it? What kind of limitation? Another part of ethics that we also need to think about is, just like a human in an operations right now, before a judgment call is made in any business, we don't want one person to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. That's too porous and dangerous to have in an organization. So you don't want the AI itself to be the same, the jury, the judge, and the executioner. No, right? So in as much as you're trying to get it to get information, you also need to be able to look at the dashboards of what it's doing to track exactly what it's doing. And that helps. Lastly, I think it's the businesses being open or being honest enough to share with the public or their clients that they've added AI into some of their processes, right? Because clients might be receiving probably responses in probably before responses in probably 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they are getting responses in 20 seconds, and they're wondering what happened, right? You need to let them know that we've improved on our technology, and those are kind of the information you need to share with them, right? However, when sharing that information with them, you also need to alleviate their fears by letting them know that sensitive data are not being shared with AI. So the whole idea is you need to be transparent enough to share those information so that they know exactly what is happening. And another thing that I've observed in terms of this transparency and ethical use of AI. Sorry, I'm a little bit passionate about this kind of topic, about the ethics side of things, right?
Please go on.
Yeah. You also need to understand that AI is restricted by the volume of data it has. The lesser data AI has, the more it might go hallucination mode on you.
Yep.
So what that means is, if you're not feeding it with a whole lot of data for it to be able to process, you're giving, and you do not reduce its verbosity or its temperature, it can go creative on you because it has a goal. It must give you a result. So it's going to go hallucination mode on you and come back with information that are not. So what we've started to see is, before you begin to allow AI to begin to get into your system, your data needs to be rich. All the possible scenarios has to be created. And lastly, you need to be able to keep enriching it from time to time. And how do you enrich it? There has to be the human AI feedback loop. So for example, let me give a typical example of what happened with some use case that we built recently on this part. So for every time the AI gets a feedback from a human after interacting with the human, it requests from the human before it leaves that call. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate me? Right? And then if the human gives it a low score, it takes that information and it escalates to the right team to begin to work on how they can fix it so that they can have the first call resolution, for example. But if the AI gets the high score, which means it's good, you know what the AI does? It takes the question that was initially asked, the response that it gave, that it got a good score, and takes that information and pour it back into its original knowledge base for enrichment. So next time when anyone asks that kind of information, it goes spot on and gives the right answer. Yeah. So in terms of transparency and ethical use, you need to enrich your data consistently with the engagement that's happening, the feedback loop that's happening with the client or the users, to ensure that your data is rich, right? And then AI do not go hallucination mode on you as a business or to the end users. Yeah.
Wow, that was insightful. Thank you so much. I think that it's just taking us to the next question, which is on balancing people, technology, and the future. So now, irrespective of, I know we've said it a lot of time that AI is not taking your job, AI is a co-pilot, AI is this, AI is that, but there are still people who are worried that AI might take their job, right? And the next question would be, how can businesses strike the balance between automation and keeping operations human centered? Is one thing for you as the person, I mean, of course, you're both industry leaders and at your different workplace of work. So it's one thing for you to catch the vision that, oh, AI can automate this task. Another thing for you to translate that vision into your team members in a way that, matter what, I know shake idea, right? It will not take my job. So now, how can businesses, so I want you to share or to give this insight to other businesses, business owners, CEOs, founders that may be watching, or even product teams, right? That may be watching. How can you balance the automation and keep operations human centered? Case study one, there's a popular app, bank app, I wouldn't call the name. I know that we want to use AI to automate tasks, but I want to call customer service and speak to a human. I have no business calling customer service and it's telling me, I know AI when I hear one. I know AI when I see one, right? It's very annoying. And I can remember when we went for an event, a tech event, and I met one of the product team and I asked, okay, why? And he, went as far as saying that we have over 20,000 users. I'm not asking you for your daily active users. I'm just telling you, as a user, it's frustrating that I'm calling with my credit. It's not free. And it's an AI that's responding to me. You're telling me that it's because, I mean, realistically, that humans can reach a lot of people, but I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I'm not speaking like a product manager, I'm speaking like a user, a frustrated user right now. So people need to know the balance. So please help us, tell us, and tell them, how can we strike this balance so people don't abuse this AI thing. Thank you.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I think that's quite an interesting that's an interesting question. And funny enough, in as much as I'm advocating, people introducing AI into the system, whatever they do, there sometimes I call the bank and I've noticed an AI pick it up, and I don't want to talk to AI too. I want to talk to a human being because at that point I'm really pissed and I want to talk. But anyway, that aside, so how do we kind of bring this, to the team so that they understand the vision or see the vision? I think the thing there is you need to build trust, and you can only build trust on three major things, and that is involvement, education, and transparency. It's so easy for people because in my field, I run operations, so I have engineers, I have managers, I know I'm there about. It's easy for them to hear about something and then create their own narrative around it, and then the rumor just spreads, and everybody just becomes afraid. But if you involve them from the beginning, you educate them on what you want to do, and you're transparent throughout the process, they understand what you're doing and they understand why you want to do what you're doing. A small example again is the level one support team. Like I said, the normal thing they do these days is the customer rings in either by email, either by phone. They get the call, they open the ticket in the ticketing system, and then they kind of wrap it up. They're supposed to do level one triage, but because of the time they spent doing all those manual tasks, they can't really do that. They just pass that across to level two team and go, you can please look at this, can you fix it? Now, imagine me talking to them and letting them, look, I'm trying to introduce AI into your mix. And the reason why is so I can take all this manual stuff away from you and give you time to develop as an engineer to develop your technical skills, do something that you enjoy, be more valuable rather than you doing, I'm just a ticket raiser and that's my job. Rather than doing that, you're now doing something a bit more, investigating the issue, using other tools to understand what's going on before you escalate it. It's more value to you. It's more satisfying as an engineer, as someone like so. When you explain to them that way, then they understand that okay, they are not bringing AI in to take my role. They are bringing AI in to enhance what I do, to help me deliver what I do and do it better. Even the level 2 and the level 2, 3 teams as well, when they're analyzing log files as well, they can use AI to kind of go scan all the logs because sometimes we get logs as big as a 10 gig log and you have to look through that. And we all know humans, we do make mistakes. Even when you're looking at it, you might think you didn't see something, but it's there. But you imagine using like a machine to just go scan through that, pull a result out for you in either a tabular form or on the dashboard, and you can clearly see what you're looking at, then able to get to the this is what we think the issue is, this is what we're doing with it, and this is what we're going to do next. So I think the way to do this is just to build trust with the team, get them involved. You educate them because, like I said, a lot of them don't know. You have to educate them, and you also have to be transparent with them. If you have those three key things, it will be easy for you to implement AI within your organization with your team's backing and them understanding that you're not trying to get rid of them or get rid of their role. You're trying to help them be a better person or a better engineer, from my perspective, at what they do. I ask my team these days to even use Copilot when responding back to customers because I see a lot of emails and I read it and I go, you're too blunt with the customer. Write what you want to write that, put it down, but then put it in Copilot and make it customer friendly or make it customer focused. And then when you see the output, look at yourself and go, oh, that looks a bit better. No, it frame it in a very nice way. Then you can use that and as a means of the update back to your customer. So it's just use it as a tool. You just understand how you can use it to just improve it. So I think once people understand it helps them rather than it's taken away from them, then they really appreciate it at that point. I'll leave it there. There's a lot to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually dissected a lot. And we have the three key points: involvement, education, and transparency. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Deji, what do you think?
So I'm going to give typical examples of my experience, right? Striking the balance between AI automation and maintaining the human-centered workplace. Okay.
Yep.
For every time I've had the opportunity to consult for businesses, which I still do, some of the first conversations, apart from the compliance side of things and data, is to also have conversations around empowering the team.
Yep.
So the only way you can strike that balance between the AI automation. So sorry, I'm going to take the conversation to another dimension right now. So I'm going agentic AI conversations right now. When anyone hear AI, the first thing they think of is ChatGPT, Gemini, and all of that.
Yep.
Those are just large language models that can help you clean up your texts, right? People in the creative industry right now are using it for video and for picture generation, image generation, which is great.
Yep.
However, what we're talking about right now is building AI agent systems that you can plug into your current organizational processes that then helps you to get the job done faster so you can have some time to do other things. I think the real deal right now is training every employee on how to build these agentic systems for their own internal processes. When they own it, when the employee owns that build and he builds it based on the use cases that they need it for in the organization, right? It empowers them because they know they own it. So the model that I use most of the time for most of the businesses we've supported is we have this first call where we tell everyone we're not here to take your jobs. We're here to empower you. We're here to train you on how to build agentic systems to help your business processes move smoothly. Let me give a typical example and a use case. HR in the organization don't want to spend time doing all the approval layers when people need to go on leave, people need to go for maternity leave, or someone needs to make a request for a new laptop or some things like that. You can imagine empowering your HR team members on automating that entire approval processes. And that I have built anyway. I'm just trying to share you some of the things that we've built where the end-to-end approval processes happens, where anyone who needs to get a job done can make a request. It goes to the approver gets it, it copies all the responsible people at the same time, and then when it is approved, the automation process manages the end-to-end process. And when the person returns, it's sending an email to the person or sending email to the right team to activate the person back, probably if the person has some tools that need to be automated. So what you're doing at that time is you're striking the balance because there's a human somewhere and there's the AI supporting it. And guess what? That automation that was built was not built by an external source. It was built by a team member in the human resource team. What you've done is you've empowered human resource. So all those repetitive things like people going on leave, or for example, let me give a typical example again with human resource. Sorry, I've been going customer support, human resource. I'm going to go into some other departments that needs this tool. Human resource team do not want to spend time looking for JDs every time. It doesn't want to look for writing job description or like writing things. And all they want to hire a new person, right? And all they just need to do is give the instruction to the agents that they've built. I need to hire a product manager, right? Yeah. And what the AI does is develop that whole job description for them and send it to them. And then he goes through it and approves it, and immediately he pushes that post to LinkedIn and posts it on LinkedIn on their behalf without their touching it, right? And then when people apply for the jobs, this agentic AI can begin to send them invitations or can filter those who have dropped their resume and send them invitations that, okay, it's time for you to come for interview. These are systems that we have built, okay? So let's look at another typical example because I'm trying to talk about the striking the balance. Now that HR person built that solution by themselves, right? With the support of Deji, okay? Now look at a typical example. Let's look at another use case. Another use case of, let's see, another department that we can talk about, marketing, for example. Marketing would like to have maybe some posts going out on a daily basis on all their social media platforms, and then we build the marketing team is being empowered to build agentic solutions that do the marketing research. The agent do the calendar. The agents do all of the development of the post. But in everything that is going on, it's not going to allow it to go to post it on all the social media platforms without its approval. But remember, that solution was built by that marketing team. So you can imagine what businesses and what founders out there, how the disservice they are doing to their business by not empowering their team members to build this kind of tools by themselves. So basically, if you want to grow as a business, you need to have educated team members, aware team members, trained team members on the use of AI to build solutions. Just like what Mr. Ade said, if you don't educate them, if you don't make them aware, if you don't let them know the benefits that's going to add to them, because what you've done is empower them to build these tools by themselves, and then they can do a whole lot of things with it for your business, and the business can move forward easily. So I totally am in support that bring AI into your system, empower your team members to be able to build these tools, and these tools can then help you as a business. And then someone asked a question some time ago, what if you train them and then they take that knowledge and they leave? So I'm going to ask the same question. Anyway, what if you don't train them, they don't know anything, and they stay? So what that means, you've stunted the growth of your business. So what are the chances that you train them and they leave to the chances of you training them and they stay back and help you build your business? Or would you rather not train them at all and they stay back and they become they are not adding any value to your business. So whichever way, I think it pays you to train them, right? And continue that pattern of empowering your team, and then they start building all these solutions to make it. So if you look at it, it's a human-centered environment, but empowered the team to build this AI automation for their own use cases. Yeah.
Let me just add to that. I think the major thing is just the clarity of purpose, understanding why you're doing what you're doing. So, like we both said, I think AI should just do the automative, repetitive, or time-consuming task, and then you leave humans to kind of focus on the creative, the problem solving, and most especially the relationship building part of things. You have CRMs. You can't take CRMs away and say, June, I'm going to replace CRMs with AI. How will AI go and start building relationship with your customers? You need the human interaction in that bit to build human relationship, human building. And like Digi says as well, if you don't train, well, if you train them and they go away, it's fair. But most of them, when you train them, they stay and they help you build your business, because you have to be focused on the end game. I think that's the most important bit of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Like, I've been enjoying this session, and I think that we've done a lot. We've done very good balance into justice, rather, into balancing people, technology, and the future. So, if you're a founder, if you're a business owner, if you are a leader in your industry, please involve your team members when you want to, automate some processes, educate them, and be transparent. And I really love what Mr. Digi said, that there's this thing when you are in a team, and I mean, because we're all humans, if you are part of the team that built something, I'm not going anywhere. I have to make use of that thing. I'm going to say to you. So I feel more proud. I feel like you're involving me from one. So it's like it's the same thing as doing your requirements gathering, having to speak to the actual users of this product who are going to eventually use it, not building at on hypotheses. And I think that is something that if you are a founder, or you are a tech rather enthusiast, you should take this very seriously, right? Try to involve your team members, educate them, and be transparent, and also always put them together, like build with them, not just for them, right? So it takes us to the interesting part. I'm going to take it up a notch, the interesting part of the topic. And every businesses faces challenges like inefficiency, rising cost, and the shifting customer demands. Like, customers like needs are dynamic. Now, how can AI help turn some challenges into opportunities for growth and advantage? I mean, I know that we've said it whilst we were responding to other questions, but I just want to hear it in case there's someone who's just joining. And I mean, we're just joining by this time. You should watch this live. But how can AI help turn some challenges that businesses face into opportunities for growth and advantage? Because one thing to do is SWOT analysis. Another thing for you to be able to turn your challenges, or rather your threats, your weaknesses, into strength is one thing to like have a board and just draw it down. Another thing for you to identify the right tools that can do this. So I would start with Mr. Day. I'll start with Mr.
Let me go. I've got a very cheeky answer to that. And my cheeky answer is, look at what Digi is doing right now. He just saw the opportunity there, and he just kind of took it on board, and then just turned into a business. So it's just the same way. You have to just take your time to have a look at it and say, okay, this is where I'm struggling. This is where I struggle with. How can I use AI to enhance that, to create value for my customers? There's nothing we do in this world that cannot be improved. Look at computers. Computers have evolved over time. Phones have evolved over time. So it's exactly the same thing as what we do as a business. So I will leave it there. I'll leave it for Deji to,
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like Mr. Digi has already answered this. So Mr. Digi, why you answered that, I'm going to put another question. And I like that this question was framed for you. So yes, that you've been building, you've talked about the HR, we talked about the customer service, talked about the marketing. Yes, I heard all of that. Now, for smaller organizations that may not have large budgets, because food with sweet. Now money killer. I mean, I just to say it right. You need money. So now, what's a practical way for them to start their AI journey?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that last one, which is the challenges, right,
Yeah.
and then come back to it. Um, so my response would be that every challenge is an opportunity, actually.
Yep.
Okay. So let me give a typical example of an agent use case, an AI agent use case recently um, that we worked on, which is customer support emails that come in, all the channels where customers interact with you. So if customers, one of the biggest problem for businesses is when customers do not say a word. That's the most dangerous thing you can have in a business, because they will not say anything and all they just do is walk away. Yeah. When they complain, they are giving you data. That is raw data to work with, right? And utilizing AI agents at the back of the scene to analyze those things for you, right? To be able to give you objective feedback on what your business should focus on. That is the game changer. So for every challenge, customers' needs will continually change, right?
Yeah.
You need to continually give customers the opportunity to hear what they have to say. So most businesses have channels that they call the voice of the customer, where they get to hear feedback from the customer. They harvest information um, from their iOS store, from their Google Play Store, all the reviews. They look at all the reviews on various platforms like Trustpilot. They go to all these other places to get information, right? What the AI can do for you is harvest all those information, and then you can then build a research agent within the organization that goes out to begin to scan to see what competition are doing better than you, right? And then you can begin to see what they have done to improve theirs. And then you then marry yours as a raw source of data, which is going to be your knowledge base, right? Of how your customers are complaining. And you're benchmarking it side by side with what the other competition is doing. And then that enables you to build a better product for your customers. Now, to answer the question of smaller organizations. So let's start with small organizations. I would like to make it clear out there that when you use AI, I know a lot of people have said, oh, you cut down your cost. Tokens that you use on AI is in itself money.
Yeah.
The subscriptions you're doing, the heavier the data you're synthesizing, the more tokens you're going to consume. And then most of the foundational LLMs or the foundational models will charge you a premium for it. Yeah. So having that at the back of your mind, for small businesses, don't try to solve everything at once.
Yeah.
Identify probably one or two high value, well-defined problems in your organization. When I mean high value, these are the ones that are having direct impact on your customers, on your bottom line. You look at those two things and then focus on those particular ones. Look at the leakage. So basically what I'm saying is everywhere in your business that you've been leaving money on the table, that's where you build AI to help you get your money back. For example, probably if you're losing customers, you want to have a retention plan. You can get AI to do that for you based on the data you've harvested over the time, and that can help you. Secondly, for the smaller businesses, don't try to build your own ChatGPT or your own Gemini initially. Leverage on over-the-shelf solutions where you can manage your budget. You know how much it's going to cost on a monthly basis. Have a budget. I think every small business should have an AI budget, just like you have your marketing budget. Have an AI budget. That AI budget could either be taking over-the-shelf solutions or probably getting someone like me to come into your business and then support your business to optimize, to train your staff to be able to do those things, right? Or as a small organization, once you have that budget, then you can play around it to do a whole lot of things. So I think that's my my take about how small businesses can implement AI. Let me leave it for Mr. Ade. I think he has something to say.
I'll just add just one little thing to it. I think I like taking things simple. We start from ground up. I think for small businesses, I think the first key thing they need to look out for or to look into is marketing. Probably they are doing their marketing themselves, maybe paying someone to post on social media for them and the likes of it. They can have like a small AI to do that for them, which takes that cost of paying someone off, and that just get done on itself, and that kind of help, expand their reach in terms of people knowing about the business and going the business in itself. So those are the just look at the little things that they do that they can just use AI to just kind of plug in that hole, take the human element out of that bit, and just to make their business a bit more efficient.
Yeah, and another one,
Thank
just to add
you.
another one, lead generation. We have lead generation tools where you can generate leads. I'm not going to say too much on that, but I just where you can generate, and then you can enrich those leads. You can then reach out to those leads and then follow up. You can have AI agent build to do all of that too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So all I hear is that while automation is important, you need to be strategic, right, about it. Just like the way you're strategic with every other department, right? You need to be strategic, and I really love what Mr. J said, that you have to also look internally. There's some things that you shouldn't be spending money for. Like I always tell small businesses as well, if you're starting up for founders and you're just three people, you really do not have any need to go and pay for like a very big subscription. How many team members do you have, when there are other tools that you can use for free that you need to get to, maybe unless you're more than 10 before you can pay for extra. So whilst automation is important, being strategic in usage is also key. So the next question would be for Mr. Ade. So looking ahead, what emerging AI technologies or trends do you think would redefine how businesses operate in the next few years?
I think it's quite glaring that it's majorly going to be automation and AI. It's there. It's going to happen, regardless of what. A lot of people are talking about it because I'm actually more in the fintech environment, and I know most of all these fintechs, the banks and the likes of them, are actually building it themselves within their own organization. The artists are building their own. So I think in the nearest futures, you're going to see a lot more agentic agents picking up calls. It's happening now. Not as much as I want to talk to humans as well sometimes, but it is happening now, and you just have to live with it. It's happening now, and you're going to see a lot more in terms of every other things. Most of those minor repeated tasks. You see AI getting involved, helping you to kind of resolve it, or getting involved, taking those calls, predicting for you, because it makes your job a bit more efficient. It makes it a bit more quicker and takes the burden of humans doing that. So I see AI coming up, in a big terms in the future.
Thank you so much. So you say automation, and I support with that as well. Mr. Deji, what do you say?
Okay, so I'm going to follow through with what you just mentioned right now. Agentic AI is key, but I just need to clarify that AI and agentic AI are two different things entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can remember that he mentioned agentic AI, right? And the automation. So what that means is, so just to differentiate for those who are just hearing this for the first time, right? AI is like the large language models, the natural language processing tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest. That's what it is. But AI agent is when you begin to give them access to tools. You're empowering the AI with tools to be able to go into different places and get the job done. So to answer the question about what emerging AI technology would we see, I'm going to answer it from the other way, so that will be clear. What that means is, for every business, you need to make your business callable. When I mean callable, meaning that you need to build your business with an entry in ways that you can get your APIs out there. Now, right now, APIs, every business right now is beginning to build because they want AI to integrate with them seamlessly. So a lot of people are building APIs that can make AI integrate to them seamlessly without breaking their legacy solutions, right? So if you don't have those APIs ready and public, right? Because now what that means is, think of it this way. Everyone is building AI tools or AI agents and they want to utilize it. No one wants to do it manually. And your tool has a blocker that doesn't allow AI to be able to come into it. What you have done is, as a business, you've cut yourself away from being able to move with the future. I don't know if that makes sense. So
I
right
think,
now, what businesses
well,
are beginning to, sorry.
no, I was just going to say, I think it's best to just to explain to people what API means. It's not everyone
Okay,
is
yeah.
technical, and you're going way up there. You just can bring it down, and then let people understand that look, API is more like a way of it's connecting things together, to
Connecting
giving
things.
access. Yeah, people can understand that. Yeah, go on.
So think of it like you go into a restaurant and then you have a menu, yeah, and the waiter come to you. That waiter is there to take your order. It takes your order and then takes it to the kitchen to get the dish for you and bring it back to you. That waiter, sorry if you're a waiter and you're listening to this, I'm not, but that waiter in that term is the API.
Yeah.
So you are you as a business, every business, you need to build ready for the future. And that you need to make yourself callable, right? And you can imagine going to a restaurant and then you're looking for the waiter, and waiter is nowhere to be found. Nobody's at the bar, no one's in the kitchen. You walk away. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
if you don't have a waiter if you don't have that waiter in your business ready for the future technology that is coming, you're going to be cut off away from the technology that is, or the change that is happening rapidly. So that's the first thing. Secondly, right now, everyone is beginning to build the next layer. So API, which is the application programming interface. Basically, it's that waiter. So that's what API stands for. Um, we're beginning to see some trends right now where we've gone another layer to what we call MCPs. And MCPs are model context protocol. So you remember that API I talked about, right? API means the problem with API is that you're only able to give people a particular type of thing that they can talk to your system on. But more with the model context protocol, basically what you are doing is you're giving them a whole blanket access into your system with just one connector. See it like you have an adapter for your MacBook. You connect an adapter to your MacBook, and then you can connect your ring light, you can connect your tablet, you can connect your charger, you can connect a whole lot of things to that adapter. And that adapter has only one inlet into your system, right? That adapter is like your model context protocol that allows everything to come in. So basically, everyone should make their solution callable, so that when you are building right now, people are building product, whatever it is you're doing, you need to start thinking of building an API behind it, because when you need to start integrating AI into your systems to help you, you need to be able to say, okay, we have an outlet where we can just connect to, and then you can then get all the benefits of the AI without it breaking your existing system. You don't want to rock the boat, right? So those are the kind of things that I believe that businesses should be getting ready for as they build.
Thank you so much. So, in other words, if you're building right now, it's a good time for you to build your product for the future, right? It's a good time. If you've started building, it's a good time to have another stand up and restructure and re-strategize. Thank you so much. It's been
They can
such
call Deji.
an
I can help
insight,
them with that.
right? You can call Mr. Deji. Nice, great. So now it's been such an insightful exchange. Like I've learned a lot. I have like my note is full, 3 pages. It's actually very full. So thank you so much for sharing your unique and rich experiences and perspectives. So we're going to open up now to the audience. If you're watching live from Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, feel free to drop your questions, your takeaway. I think I already have some questions, 2 questions actually. Let me just show it. So I have Tolu said hi. Hi, Tolu. Ade said, or he asked, okay, so let me come here. How do you see the role of AI evolving in cross-functional collaboration? For example, between operations, IT, and customer experienced teams. I think Mr. DJ already answered that. I'm not sure when he dropped this question. He dropped it at 17:45. Mr. DJ, do you want to like speak to this again?
Yeah. So I think my last conversation talks about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In trying to ensure that you're building AI automation that support various business units, right? Empower them. Don't build one AI solution for all, right? Build for specific teams, right? Get a budget on ground that you want to get a team who comes in to support your each department to see how they can harness AI to help upskill their team, upskill the team members to build AI solutions within the organization. Yeah.
I'll
Thank
have
you.
that. Let me
Please
answer
go
that
ahead.
from a different perspective. And
Thank you.
so I'm looking at it. It's talking about example from operations between operations IT and customer experience team. If I
Yeah.
take it in, I'll say in like in an organization, the normal people that probably will own the AI functionality probably be the IT team, and they'll be responsible for making sure things are kind of set up the way it should be set up, and people have the right, the right governance and stuff around it. But when you're looking at operation and the customer experience, the operations team deals with the customer in terms of dealing with their issues. And the customer experience teams are the one that, like the CRMs, that go to the customers to have meetings with them. So with AI, you can have an AI that, like Deji was talking about, that kind of cut across those two departments, getting information from the customer, from the operational teams in terms of issue the customers experience and how they fix it, what time they fix it, getting the SLAs, whether it was met or not, and creating a report for the customer's experience team to go deliver to the customer when they're having their monthly review meetings or thereabout. So that's where I kind of see it kind of working in a way that it helps collaborate between various departments within an organization, basically.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So the next question is, how can organizations ensure that AI initiatives align with long-term business goals rather than becoming a short-term tech experiment? That's deep. So I'll take the question again. How can organizations ensure that AI initiatives align with long-term business goals rather than becoming short-term tech experiments? Mr. Did you want to go first?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think that when you talk about long-term business goals, then you're talking about the business strategy in itself. Um, there's a statement I keep saying every time: the goals should remain the same, but the strategy can always change. Yeah.
Mhm.
As a business, you have a business goal, right? And your business goal is never going to change, right? AI can change that strategy for you, right? So whatever it is that you're building, technology you're building, ensure that whatever technology or automation you're building aligns properly to the long-term business goals. So you need to know what your business goals are first, and then you're asking yourself, how can we get there faster? If AI is going to help you get there faster, implement AI right away. If AI will stunt the growth, don't get AI. So not every organization will implement AI. For example, humanities might never get humanities industry might never get AI in there. You won't want a robot helping you take care of your grandmother in a care home, right? No, because you won't even trust that. So those are the kind of things. So see what the goals of the business is, and then align your technology. So it shouldn't be the technology first. It should be the long-term goal first, and then you build to align to it. Yeah.
Thank you
Uh,
so much. Thank you. All right, Mr. D, please go ahead.
there's not much to add to that. I think you kind of cover our grounds with that. I think it's having a vision and seeing what aligns with that vision. If AI doesn't align, no AI functionality aligns to the vision of the company, then there's no point putting any funds into it. But if there is like a room for it, there's areas where you can, that yeah, AI can help, enhance that vision, then you might as well just build it in from the onset. You just don't do it because everybody is doing it. That's just a waste of. You have to do it. You have to be in alignment, whatever the vision of the organization is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that it's something that also stems from as basic as if you want to build a product, you need to first, check this product. Is it going to be, does it fit to be a mobile app or it's a web product? Like you're having to check first so that you're not going to go and pay for a front and back end. This of you to focus on someone who could be a mobile developer. So
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it down now to end with a more personal note. Now we've talked about strategy, we've talked about systems, we've talked about transformation, innovation, but behind every transformation, there are people making decisions every day. So you could advise one type of person, just pick one person, maybe a startup founder, a product manager, or someone in tech operations team.
Yeah.
What's that one thing that you would tell them about investing in or embracing AI driven operations?
Okay. I'll take that first because I've had to deal with some dinosaurs before. Yeah, I think there was a period where we were looking at what we do as an organization and how we do it and how to make it a bit more efficient. And that's when AI first springed up, and we brought up that conversation. But like I said, and I think during the conversation we had earlier on, that people is key when you're trying to implement AI into an environment. It took a while for the older generation, I'll put it that way, to understand what you're
Mhm.
trying to do and why we need to do that. I think, from my perspective, when you have decision makers that are from the older generation, it's very, very tricky to get them to understand it. So it takes a lot of effort, it's a lot of work. You have to explain to them in layman terms. Like when you're talking about API, you have to talk about, like when you explain it, like a waiter, you're taking this and you're taking the order from people and tweak it. You have to really explain to them, and you also have to be able to prove to them to show them what the benefits are. Because then they now work on data, they make decisions based on data. They can now see that, oh, you've done this a little bit, and this is the improvement it brings. Then they can, okay, now we are open to making it a broader decision around it. So I think it takes a lot of effort getting that done, especially with decision makers. It would be good if the decision maker is a younger person that is a bit more vibrant around technology, then it's easy. But when you have the older generations who are used to, like you were talking about, pen and paper, they wanted to everything printed out in copies, things done by human. It takes a while. I think the result normally helps change their mind in terms of making them understand what the vision, or making them understand why it is needed. I think that's, from my experience, that's what I've seen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Deji.
Okay, you've asked us to pick just one person, right?
Yes, just one person.
I'm looking for the best person to pick.
Not someone in customer service or marketing
No, no, no,
or
no, no.
HR.
I'm going, I'm going to speak to leadership of businesses
Oh,
right
Yeah.
excellent.
now. And I'm going to piggyback a little bit from what
Okay.
Mr. Ade said. First off, my advice is it's not too late to start, right? And I just want to give an assurance for most people who are out there who have said AI is a bubble. No. During the days in the 1990s, when the dot-com days, this was the same thing that happened then.
The internet.
When internet was getting in,
Yeah.
this was the way the frenzy was everywhere. Oh, the end of the world is here. That all your information will be out there. No, people were scared. People started hosting their servers locally. Nobody wants to go on cloud. It's a whole lot of frenzy that kept on happening at that time. So it's not too late to get on it now. Even if you're using old technologies, right? AI can help you upgrade easily without breaking your legacy solution, right? That's how beautiful it is. Um, and for businesses or the leadership of businesses, invest in your people, right? Um, and invest in, when I mean invest in your people, invest in capacity building for your people in the area of AI.
Yeah.
Send them out for trainings, expose them to it, and then let them come back and tell you how they can implement it in your business. And if you don't want to do that, you can get someone else to come into your system, see what your system, how it looks, and see how to get your business ready. Even if it's not getting your business, let the person come in and scope what you are doing first, and then do some form of analysis for you and see what your business can be without AI and what it can't be with AI, right? And then you look at the cost implication or the cost analysis, and then you decide if you want to go on that journey or not. AI is not for everyone, in terms of the industries, right? So, but before you decide that it's not for you, um, get some recommendation, get the team to analyze your system properly. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. It has been a value packed session. So, like I said, I mentioned that I did write down a lot of things. I'm just going to wrap up with these. That now, to everyone who is watching, whether on YouTube or from Instagram, from LinkedIn, innovation isn't just about adopting new tools, right? It's about understanding the people who would use them and making sure that technology truly supports the way they work.
Yeah.
AI is not your competition, it's your co pilot, and it's here to make you work smarter. As humans, we still bring the best part to the table, and nothing will change that. So, up until next time, thank you so much, Mr. Deji. Thank you so much, Mr. Day. I really enjoyed the session. I think that we should have another session, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that this is where we draw the curtains.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yes,
for having
please.
me too.
Yes, please. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.